welcome. You're watching NewsX. I am Meenakshi Upreti. This is our special show where we speak about all health concerns, medically speaking. This time, we will talk about an issue which affects most of us. That's obesity, an issue which is brushed under the carpet, which people don't pay a lot of attention to, but it can turn into something fatal. How do you reverse obesity? How do you live a healthy life? There is a way known as bariatric surgery. You all must be wondering what it is. To declutter really what bariatric surgery is, who needs it, when it's needed, myths around it, all of it and more. I'm being joined by a panel of experts and someone who has undergone this surgery who will be sharing his experience with us. We're being joined by Dr. Mahendra Narvaria. He's a chairman of Asian Bariatrics Private Limited. He's joining us from Ahmedabad. He's also, a surgical gastroenterologist, a bariatric and robotic surgeon. Thank you, sir, first of all, for joining us. Dr. Sudhir Kalhan has joined us. He's a chairman and a bariatric GI and robotic surgeon at the IMAS. This is at the Sir Gangaram Hospital in the National Capital. Joining us is also B. Ananthakrishnan. He's 47 years of age, someone who's undergone this surgery and will help us understand the pros, cons, need, etc. Really his personal experience. Let's start first of all with Dr. Narvaria. Dr. Narvaria, first question to you, the most basic question. What's bariatric surgery? Who needs it? And why it's so important that we have a discussion around it, sir?
Okay. See, bari means obese, and anything which is treating obesity is called bariatrics. And bariatric surgery is treating obesity by surgery. Now, we have different criteria to address this. Like anybody who is more than 40 BMI without any medical risk factors, they can undergo bariatric surgery. We changed our Asian guidelines almost in 2009, almost 13 years back, and we decided to operate at 37.5 BMI because we Asians and Indians are getting complications of obesity at even lower BMI. Similarly, those who are having type 2 diabetes with more than 35 BMI, we offer this surgery because this surgery can have a long-term control on diabetes without even medications. So that's another indication. Hypertension, diabetes is the major indication which need to be addressed with the obesity. So we offer this surgery to even those people at 35 BMI, and the latest guideline for uncontrolled diabetes is even 27.5 BMI. That is international guideline published by IDF, wherein we can offer this surgery to even control the diabetes, which is not being controlled by any medication in spite of giving the maximum dose. So those people can also opt for this surgery at even a lower BMI because this surgery at certain level improves the diabetes to significant extent, so much that even there is more production of insulin after the surgery, and they may not need even medications for the longer period.
Right. And Dr. Kalhan, if you could just come in here, sir, and help us understand, since we are speaking about the need for bariatric surgery, is it only for those who perhaps have comorbidities or diabetes, or can it also be used for aesthetic reasons? First of all, shed some more light on who should undergo bariatric surgery.
See, Meenakshi, first of all, you must understand that bariatric surgery is reserved for those people who have morbid obesity or super obesity, who have tried to lose weight by modifying their lifestyle, have tried medications, have been motivated and not been able to lose weight. And because of their being overweight, they have developed comorbidities like diabetes, like hypertension, like sleep disorders. Some of the women who have overweight, they develop infertility. Some have got them mental disorders like they go into depression. So all these people who are unable to get hold of themselves or not manage medically, they are the ones who've been offered bariatric surgery.
Okay,
so it is for those people, yes.
Okay, okay, that's a very important point which you make, Sir Ananthakrishnan. Since you've undergone this surgery, help us understand what your experience was like. Would you recommend it to someone else, perhaps who's comorbid, has a higher BMI, suffering from diabetes, etc.?
So if you talk about my own case, I had a very serious issue of diabetes. My sugar levels were to the tune of 500. And after insulin also, my sugar levels were to the tune of about 250. And I used to take almost 5 shots of insulin a day. I had a severe problem of hypertension. the blood pressure being high. I was on medication for that. Of course, I had my thyroid disorders also. Sleep was a major problem. Sleep apnea was a major issue. There was a huge amount of mood swings. There was a performance issue at office. There were, उसको हिंदी में चिड़चिड़ापन बोलते हैं ना, तो वो होता था बहुत, frequently. So the lifestyle was totally distorted, right? And eating used to be a compulsive eating disorder kind of a thing where कुछ भी खाने लगो तो you feel like wanting more and more. So there was no choice left beyond a point. That the surgery was the only option wherein you can actually have a healthy lifestyle or a healthy life thereafter. And it's about a year that I've had this surgery now, and I'm absolutely healed and hearty and absolutely fine. So it's given me a new birth, a new beginning altogether. So I have been able to, with all your good wishes, I've been able to put down more than 48 kilos of weight. So I look normal like any other normal person. Right. So I live a very healthy and a very regulated life today, free from any kind of disease. So my sugar level is absolutely normal. My HbA1c today is about 5.4. My fasting blood sugar is about 90 something. My PP blood sugar is less than 104. My BP is absolutely perfect. I have no sleeping issues. I sleep comfortably well for 6 hours and I'm fresh in the next morning. So I lead a life which probably a 35-year-old leads today. I'm in 47, 48 today. So I'm 12, 15 years younger to what my real age is today. This, I really thank my doctor for it, and I really thank the surgery for it. It's a life-saving and a life-giving.
So you're saying you're back to a normal life without any issue?
I'm better than a normal life. I'm better than a life which I would have led 10 years back. I'm better than that life today.
Better than a normal life is what you say. Dr. Narvaria, sir, if you could come in here, help us also understand, because there are a lot of myths, fears around bariatric surgery. How, first of all, is this surgery performed? What is the post-operative care which is needed? And the cons of the surgery, if any, because that's also something which we must highlight.
I think the biggest myth in bariatrics is that people think that the goat has created our body and why we are changing the goat's own creation. But frankly speaking, the body is mean for ideal body weight. When you gain 50, 60 kg or more than 40 kg, you're already gone beyond the goat's creation. All your organs are mean for ideal body weight, which are working at a high weight. So naturally, pancreas, kidney, liver, every organ is having its effect, including heart. So you will develop all these complications if you don't reduce the weight. Regarding the surgery is done by laparoscopy. We put small punctures in the abdominal wall, which are ranging between 5 to 12 millimeter. Through one puncture, the camera will go inside. We can see all the organs from inside on a screen. That is a kind of a medical screen. And through that camera, we can see every organ, and we introduce few more instruments to handle the bowel, to take or measure it, cut it, join it. So everything takes about half an hour to 45 minutes to perform even a gastric bypass, which is much faster than any other surgery like gallbladder or appendix.
Okay. And, Dr. Kalhan, since we've understood what this surgery or how it is performed, what's the post-operative care which is required? Because many may feel that it's like a panacea or a magic pill. You get the surgery, you lose the weight, you're looking great, and you go back to eating your pizzas and your burgers. But that's not the case. Could you shed some light on the same?
You see, first of all, I must clarify that bariatric surgery is not a quick fix solution.
Yeah.
It's not that you get the surgery done and then everything is taken care of and then you can do whatever you want to do. No, it's not like that. Bariatric surgery is one more attempt which is given by the help of surgery to the patients to change their lifestyle. So immediately after surgery, within few hours, the patient can move around, he can climb stairs, he can take a bath, but then he has to follow a diet regimen which is prescribed to him, which is typically started with a liquid diet initially, then on to some soft diet, then some.
Right. Dr. Kalhan, we seem to be experiencing a network difficulty from your side. Why don't I come back to you? Meanwhile, I'll take a question from Anand Krishnan. Anandji, we'll go back to Dr. Kalhan. I think there's a bit of a network issue there. Yeah. Meanwhile, if you could tell us, he was taking us through really how it's not a quick fix. It takes a much longer period. You have to be very careful about post-operative care. But what was your experience like? Did you experience any issue after undergoing surgery? Because that's a fear which many have.
Still, let me tell you what. When you are not operated, before your operation, when you try to do a diet, right? or you want to do an exercise, your body actually doesn't allow you to do it because you, in the mind frame, it's such that you are already obese, and you will, have a problem if you do an exercise. You'll have a pain if you do an exercise. So all those things are there. But once you are operated, the body aids you in starting your exercise, right? So it kind of your momentum is such that we go for a walk, you'll not feel the tiredness even if you walk a kilometer, which otherwise without a surgery it gets difficult to walk a kilometer with that kind of weight, right? So it kind of helps you to get into the regime, right? Secondly, eating healthy is of course the whole mantra. So after surgery, you go back to your pizzas and your burgers, things are not going to happen. You have to have a very, I should say, regulated lifestyle, a very healthy lifestyle. Eat, nothing is forbidden from eating, but then you have to eat right, right? You have to eat healthy.
Okay.
If you know that your diet is such, then if you have to eat 4 chapatis, you are full with 3 chapatis, stop there. You can't go beyond that. So you have to regulate yourself in such a mind, and the body wiring gets to regulate it automatically, right? It helps, the surgery helps you in that, the whole activity, which otherwise is not possible.
Okay, important point. I think Dr. Narvaria, you want to add something to it, and then we'll go back to Dr. Kalhan as well.
I think she's asking about your recovery after the surgery. I think that is most important.
All right. So I really, to be honest with you, I really did not have any kind of problems whatsoever. So, the surgery, I came back to my room at about 6:30 in the evening, and the first walking that the doctor made me walk was at 8 in the evening. So I was comfortable walking about 100 steps, right? I was made to drink some liquid diet immediately that night. By about 9 o'clock, I had my first chas and some juice. Though limited in quantity, but then I did not feel like throwing out, or I did not have any issues which otherwise people think they would have, right? Next morning onwards, I was on a liquid diet for almost all 1 week. And it was absolutely, everything was with a given quantity, but then I really did not have any kind of issues the whole time of recovery. Like
okay. You're saying you did not have any issues with the time of...
I definitely did not. Neither did I have any issues with no pain or anything at all, right? No pain at all, no throat symptoms, nothing at all. No, I would say, no, I really didn't face any kind of issues. Because,
okay, it's a very important point which you make, that you did not face any issues, because there could be many who may be considering bariatric surgery, may be thinking about it, but are apprehensive at this point of time. Stay with us, both of you. We'll slip into a short commercial break, and on the other side, we'll continue this discussion. Welcome back. You're watching Medically Speaking, and our conversations around bariatric surgery, what it is and more continues. We have, of course, the panel with us. Dr. Kalhan is back with us now. Dr. Kalhan, earlier you were taking us through some of the myths, and there is one myth I'd like to tell you, which we've also heard from many, that this surgery, bariatric surgery, is the same as liposuction. What's the difference between the two? Because that's a big myth which patients have at this point of time because of obviously lack of awareness around bariatric surgery, sir.
See, absolutely. Liposuction and bariatric surgery are two different things, because liposuction actually is a procedure. The lipo means fat, suction means using high pressure to, dissolve fat and suck out some amount of fat. So it is done by plastic surgeon. It is just, if somebody wants to lose 4 or 5 kg from particular areas around the waist, around the hips, so probably you can make tiny holes and you can suck out some of the fat. But it does not modify the cause of the weight, you see. So if you get a liposuction done and you have not modified why you are gaining weight, you'll get the weight back. Bariatric surgery, on the other hand, is a procedure which changes both the physics and chemistry of the body. That means how you eat, how much you eat, that also changes. And chemistry, certain hormones which are there in the body which cause the weight gain and other digestive problems are also changed after this bariatric surgery. So you get the good hormones to increase and the bad hormones to come down, and you are modifying how much you eat, what you can eat, how to chew. So all these things are modified with bariatric surgery.
Okay.
So the liposuction is just a temporary, I would say, short-term thing which is basically basically a cosmetic surgery.
Right.
It is not going to modify.
Cosmetic surgery when we're speaking of liposuction. But, you know, Dr. Narvaria, since we are speaking of bariatric surgery, help us understand who can get bariatric surgery. Is there an age gap? What are the, you know, procedure which you all conduct before assessing, or how do you assess that this patient is perfect to undergo bariatric surgery, sir?
Every person has to go through a battery of tests to know the fitness of a person in terms of the anesthesia and to withstand the surgical trauma which is there. So we always do the tests. We check their lung function, the kidney function. We do even ultrasound. If there is any other abnormality in the abdomen, we can correct it at the same time. Like somebody has a gallstone, we have to remove the gallstone along with the bariatric surgery. So we need to do all the tests to know the fitness. We'll do echo, pulmonary function test and everything. So that will give us an idea that this person can undergo surgery. Regarding age, the worldwide, the 18 to 65 is the age which is recommended. But we do at younger age only when it is more super obesity, like smaller kids who are not able to walk, who was I have seen patients with the bone which get bent, the joint get bent, they can't even go to school. So those exceptional cases we can do, but only at a high volume center which can provide maximum safety. It should not be done by any new surgeon or somebody who is not having experience of more than 100 surgeries. So this surgery should be done in a younger age group or older age group, just to improve the quality of life of these people, like we have done at more than 65 is also. But those are bedridden people, they are not able to walk. They needed a joint replacement, but weight itself was restricting them to go for joint replacement surgery. So we do exceptionally in certain cases when the indication is, and there the aim is only to give good quality of life.
Good quality of life. You say that's the aim. Anand Krishnan, are you experiencing that good quality of life? How has your life changed post this?
Well, I'm really enjoying my new life. I'll call this a new life that the doctor has given me. So there are no restrictions to this life, right? So swayam or self-control, right? So that's the success mantra, right? If you can control yourself to your eating habits, if you can control yourself to your regular, exercises or gymming or whatever you want to do, or yoga, whatever your physical activities you want to take it up to, it gives a fantastic feeling. So, the sleep problems are gone. The medicines are vanished. I don't need to take any medicines now. I lead a very healthy life. The mind is always active. There's a lot of freshness around you. A lot of acceptance from people who earlier used to kind of the social stigma that a obese person faces. There is a social stigma attached, which probably the doctors are not talking to you at this point in time, but the huge level of stigma attached if you're obese. Your color of your skin, in case of in my case, I was black. I turned dark from black. 2 shades of fairness is what I guarantee you to anybody who kind of got it done. At least I've seen it myself. So all your black patches on your forehead, they disappear. You look smart.
I guess, yeah. I mean, the color of one's skin should not matter. But you're right about social stigmas around all of this. And when you speak of social stigma around obesity,
you get
it does exist. Why don't you hold on to that thought? I'll come back to you on the psychological impact also, because it's very important. But Dr. Kalhan, earlier we'd lost your audio and you were telling us about post-operative care which is needed. Ananta had to a certain extent taken that question for us, but Dr. Kalhan, if you could help us understand what are the type of precautionary measures which a patient needs to take, and how do you as doctors and as a team which has done the operation ensure that full post-operative care is given to the patient, sir?
See, I told you right at the beginning that obesity is a lifestyle disorder. So the surgery is one aspect of the treatment. The other aspect is modifying the lifestyle. That means healthy eating, good exercise, and compliance. Compliance means the patient needs to come back regularly to us. You must understand this bariatric surgery, and especially when you're doing a bypass or a malabsorptive procedure, we are reducing the amount of food that a patient is eating. And sometimes there is, because of the malabsorption, there is loss of proteins and other multivitamins also. So these patients need to be regularly monitored also. Because the first important thing for any surgeon is, in Latin, our medical logo says primum non nocere. First, do no harm. That means don't harm your patients first. Benefit will come later. So it's very important that we tell these bariatric patients that, look, we are done the surgery, but now you have to be an equal partner in taking care of your health. So in Gangaram Hospital, what we do is that we do a compliance scoring. That means every time a patient comes to us, we try and see how compliant they are regarding their food habits, how compliant they are regarding their exercise, and how compliant they are about the routine investigations we need to be done up. Sometimes
okay, Dr. Kalhan, we've taken your point. Compliance is very important, and you keep checking on that. Yes, we've taken that point. Dr. Narvaria, if you could, come in here and help us understand, sir, what's the cost of the surgery? Is it covered under insurance? Because that also could be a massive concern for many.
I think the most important part is this surgery is a surgery which is changing your life. So the cost is not that important, because you are, and even the studies which are published saying that all the costs, whatever you incur for bariatric surgery, is covered within 3 years by reducing the medication, by reducing their food, by reducing their other expenses which are there because of the obesity. In India, the cost is starting at multiple centers is about 2.5 to 5 lakh rupees. That is the commonest. This is covered by medical insurance. Almost in, I think, 2019, IRDA, our Indian Authority for Insurance, has instructed all insurance companies that this surgery should not be considered as a cosmetic surgery, and which should be paid by insurance irrespective of their package and product. So now every insurance company has to pay, provided they have taken the insurance for more than 4-year-old duration. That is and we have specific criteria to cover it. So the indication of surgery becoming a criteria for them to be fulfilled before they apply for medical insurance.
All right. So the cost is mostly covered by insurers. If you are interested in bariatric surgery, do look at, of course, the terms and conditions. But Anand Krishnan, you were earlier speaking about the social, psychological trauma which a person with obesity faces. And that's also very important to address today, isn't it? Considering, I'm sure you are also seeing a massive difference in people's approach towards you.
Yeah, exactly. So you are now more acceptable. You have your inroads in your social circles, right? People talk about you and they kind of accept you comfortably well. And, all your mood issues, they practically disappear. So everything is interlinked. If you're not able to sleep, you don't have a good morning, you're not in a good mood. So if you sleep, you wake up fresh, you have the whole freshness in your, in your talk, in your walk, everything, and you accept it well. So it's as simple as that. So it's a vicious cycle. So this surgery gets you out of the vicious cycle, which an obese person is normally caught in, right? So this surgery has done a miracle for me, and I would definitely vouch for it. And I always keep on saying to my friends who needs it, that this is the best gift that anybody can give to his family member, to his or her family member. There cannot be a better gift than this particular surgery, right? So if you have an obese person in your family, this is to all the viewers here. If you have an obese person in your family, I think you should really go and meet a doctor and consider this surgery.
And, Dr. Kalhan, what would you say to those? Anand Krishna says, consider the surgery if you have diabetes, if you are overweight and unable to lose it via, of course, conventional methods like walking, exercising, gymming, etc. What would you like to tell those perhaps who are overweight, considering bariatric surgery, but just too scared?
Meenakshi, first of all, let me tell you, this is a long drawn battle between the cost of bariatric surgery, whether it is affordable or not, whether so much money should be spent or not. And these discussions have happened all over the world. And now, it is established beyond doubt. If you see, let's say, cost consideration only. Now, if a patient is overweight and he does not get his obesity surgery done, then probably he's going to get his stenting done, which is going to cost another few lakhs, or he's going to get his joint replaced, knee replaced, which is going to cost another lakhs, and then he's going to have a poor quality of life. So I think if you just weigh all these things, you'll find that bariatric surgery saves a patient from stenting, saves them from cancer, gives them better quality of life, gives them better sleep, prevents them having knee problems, prevents them from having spine problems, and probably even gives them more longevity. I mean, there's a direct correlation between obesity and death. The moment obesity keeps on going up, the BMI goes up, the chances of having problems go up. So when you bring down their BMI, bring down their weight, their quality of life improves, their risk towards cancer improves, their fertility improves, they sleep well, they can work better, they become more productive, so they do much better in career, they overcome all their mental disorders. So I think if you evaluate that in terms of money, I think no money can buy that. I would say that bariatric surgery is peanuts. Even if you had to spend 10 times more money for bariatric surgery, it is unimaginable that anything can be compared in terms of money to give the benefits it does to the patients.
Well, absolutely. I think it's very, very well explained
Strong
by you,
statement.
because one needs to
Strong
look at an
statement I'm making.
overall cost. There is a cost of treatment. If you are diabetic, if you're taking these medicines, there is a cost of
So
the
let me
treatment
pitch
also.
in here, ma'am. Let me pitch in here
Please.
for a second.
Yeah.
So, like for example, I have met my doctor a couple of years back also, right? And that was the time when the cost of surgery really put me back, right? But today, when I am after about a year of surgery, so when I compare what I am saving in terms of the medicine cost, which otherwise I would have been incurring, right?
Yeah.
So practically, in 1 year, I have retrieved almost all 50% of the cost of surgery, right? So next 1 more year, I'll retrieve my 100% cost of the surgery. The rest of the 10, 15, 20, 35 years that I lived happily is a compliment to me.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, if you the cost outweighs the benefit, I'm sorry, the benefit outweighs the cost many folds. So kindly do not see the cost alone. I would rather
because
recommend
people end up seeing the one-time cost and they're not taking into consideration the amount of money which they are spending in getting treatment to obesity-related diseases. Important point.
Think of a way that one of my friend, in fact, who also had a surgery long back, the way he explained to me, you have an accident tomorrow. You think about the 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs that you spend to save yourself. You're not. Now that you're in a stable mind, why are you thinking on saving yourself? And why don't you go and get this done simply?
And
you get it done, then you'll see what the benefits accrue it.
It's an important point which you raise, and Dr. Narvaria, if you could come in here, there are many reasons why one may be apprehensive of bariatric surgery. One is cost, something which we have addressed elaborately. What about those who are perhaps worried about a possible con, about a possible health impact, the myths which we have discussed earlier, and really needs the surgery? What would you like to tell them, sir?
People feel that there are complications of surgery which are that is why they are avoiding, but I have seen many people who are just thinking about complication and they have left the world. They died just because of the complication of disease itself. So risk is more on that side. Say a person who is obese of 120 kg, if he get heart attack, he may not even able to reach the hospital because his heart is already pumping at a very heavy weight, and those people cannot even reach the hospital. Similarly, these people, when they met with accident, their severity of injury is much more than a normal person because we can control our body much better way than an obese person. So people who are thinking of complication and avoiding surgery is actually it's wrong decision, because the complication in this surgery is the minimum. In fact, the leak rate is less than 0.1%.
And also, Meenakshi, if you see the teaching that we've had from the COVID, the COVID pandemic, if you ask any hospital, any doctor, the maximum, fatalities, maximum deaths which happened in the COVID patient were the patients who are obese, Because obesity produces a lot of respiratory problems, and the maximum deaths happen in patients who are obese. So single risk factor for COVID was obesity.
So
and
you
also,
write about it, and I just want to add one thing, and I'd like you to elaborate that a little more, Dr. Kalhan sir. We are speaking of overall holistic impact and benefits of the bariatric surgery. We're reaching the fag end of this discussion. So at the end, what's that one suggestion you'd like to give people as to why they must consider this surgery?
No, first, I think my message is loud and clear. First of all, adopt a healthy lifestyle. And I will say that, during this COVID time, we did a survey from Gangaram Hospital, and we found that, the school-going children, the adolescent population, because they were staying at home, there was at least 10 to 20% weight regain in weight gain in all these people. So they adapted a non-healthy lifestyle, ordering from the Zomatos and the Swiggies and eating at home. No exercise, they gained weight, and because of that, the problem was there. And the adolescent population is the one which gets the hit the fastest. India is a young country. More than 60% of the population is less than 35 years of age. So if you can imagine, if this population becomes obese and develops this host of problems, comorbidities, then tomorrow, even if we achieve a 10 to 20% economic growth, all the money that the country is going to make is going to be spent on the health of these individuals. So we're going to have an unhealthy, non-productive population. But on the other hand, if you have a young population which is productive, which is disease-free, then we can become a power to reckon with. So that is the importance. So my first thing is, please modify your lifestyle, take a good healthy eating habits, exercise a little bit. And then if after this, if there's a population which is not able to achieve the targets, then yes, bariatric surgery is there for the rescue. So this is again another option. Please don't suffer. Please don't let your life go down the drain. If you need help, come to us. We have solutions for you. We want to adopt a healthy lifestyle for you.
Okay, the solutions are there, and it's not just about your individual health. I think you put it very succinctly when you talk about the entire, the burden on the economy, which comorbidities, these diseases really, what they cost the economy. Dr. Narvaria, if you could come in here, sir, since we are speaking of suggestions, as you sign off, sir, what's that one thing you'd like to tell people who are watching the show today? Because there's a very low awareness around bariatric surgery as well.
I think what is important, you should live today. We are worried about future. We are not living today. I see people who are bedridden and thinking about complications of bariatric surgery. They are not living in life, and they're just worried about cost and complications. I think this surgery is the safest surgery. Nowadays, in fact, in my practice, I operate in half an hour, 45 minutes, and we discharge them on same day. So the safety is so much, and we don't have a single leak in my career of 20 years. In bariatric surgery, that is the people are worried about the joint which can leak. So we have safety measures which can be taken. That new technology and equipments are so good that it is safer than even gallbladder and any other surgery. So it's better to opt for something which is there, and all these surgeries are reversible. If by any reason, if need to be reversed, I think we can reverse any of them if need arise. And if we can control most of these illnesses, I think this is the biggest gift to the human or mankind in last more than 6 decades. Actually.
Okay. And, Doctor, we've taken words from Dr. Kalhan and Dr. Narvaria, but Anand Krishnan, end of the day, people would want to hear from the horse's mouth. One can have a lot of myths in their minds. You believe what you see, and you are a living testament of how bariatric surgery can change one's life. 360-degree turn, which you said you had seen post the surgery.
So last 1 year, let me tell you, I've done all those things in life which I could never do the last 25 years. Right. So for me, it is, as I said, it's a second birth that I've got. Right. It's a punarjanam. That's what I can call it. And I should really thank my doctor for it. Right. And leading a healthy and a life of the kind that I am leading today is far superior than the kind of life that I used to lead a year back. So if possible, think about it as an option. And if doable, please get it done. Talk to your doctor.
All right. I think those are very pertinent suggestions which came in. We try to touch upon multiple issues on not just explaining what bariatric surgery is, the significance, importance, benefits also, but we try to dispel some myths around the same. If you are obese, if you have comorbidities, if exercising, healthier lifestyle is not working for you, that's one solution, bariatric surgery, which you can consider. You want to know more about it, you know who the experts are. I thank all of you for joining us and shedding more light on this extremely pertinent topic. It's a wrap, of course, on Medically Speaking, news and updates on the other side. Thanks for watching.